I'm going to teach you how to export an OMF or an AAF. Let's get into it.
Yeah, boy.
Now, if you are a video editor and you are thinking to yourself, what the fuck is an OMF? What is an AAF? Then you fall under one of two categories. You've either been editing on CapCut your whole life, or you've been doing pretty basic editing on relatively more professional softwares like Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve. Either way, you've most likely been handling everything by yourself. Video editing, sound design, color grading, everything by yourself, and you'll be thinking that is how life is supposed to be. That's not how life is supposed to be. That's not how it works at all. In film and other serious projects, post-production is divided into departments, and each department focuses on its own task. As a video editor, your job is simply to cut the video. Someone else handles the color grading, someone else handles visual effects if there are any, and someone else handles the sound design and mixing. That is where OMF and AAF come in. An OMF, or Open Media Framework, and an AAF, meaning Advanced Authoring Formats. It's more advanced than OMF. There are special types of project files that you export so that your sound editor can open your project on their sound editing softwares like Pro Tools or Adobe Audition. Think of it this way. When you want to move your project from Premiere Pro to DaVinci Resolve for color grading, you have to export it as an XML so that DaVinci Resolve can interpret your project, right? In the same way, you have to export your project for sound editing as an OMF or an AAF so that your sound editor's editing software can interpret your project and they can edit your sound. Do you understand it? It's very straightforward, right? I don't know. If you don't understand it, just leave a comment in the comment. Now that we understand that, let me now show you how to export it. This is the project we're going to be using for the example, and as you can see, it's just rough cuts here and there, some sounds here and there just for sound's sake. And now I want to export the OMF for this to give the sound editor. What you do is make sure that the sequence is selected and go up to File and then Export, and you see OMF or AAF. We're going to select OMF first. I'll export an AAF after this. OMF, and then we will create the OMF title. You can call it anything. For this one, I'm just going to call it OMF for sound. Sample rate for 48,000 is really where it's always at. I never touched that. The bits per sample is also 16 unless the sound editor requires it to be 24. You have to actually converse with your sound editor to know what they want. In the files, embedded audio, I usually do separate audio. And the format, you don't need to touch the format. AIFF is fine. And then copy complete audio. Some people trim the audio files, but most sound editors, at least the ones I've worked with, like the complete audio because sometimes they might want to stretch the audio file to see if they can pull some sounds from the parts that you've cut out. You might cut out some sounds and think that it's not useful. The sound editor can find it useful. You never know. So it's important to just let them have everything, and then include pans if you have any, and just click on OK. Now when you've clicked on OK, you will now navigate to where you want to save it. I'm going to save it in a new folder on my desktop. I'm going to call it OMF, and everything will save here, and I just save it and it will start processing.
A few moments later.
And now the OMF export is done, and so we just click OK. That is it. It is done. Short and simple. To export an AAF, which is what sound editors now ask for instead of OMF, I don't really know why, but from the way the name is called, it probably implies that it is just more advanced, so they prefer using that instead of OMF. Some still prefer using OMF. I don't know. So whichever one your sound editor asks for is the one you should export. So let's export an AAF. The same process. File, export. You'll see AAF down. You click on that. Now, so these are pretty much similar. Sample rate 48,000 bits per sample, 16. File, separate audio. And then format AIFF. Render complete, copy complete audio files. Again, just copy complete audio files because you never know what they will need. Everything else here, you don't need to check anyone. Just leave everything as is and then just click on OK. and then navigate to where you want it to save. I'm going to create a new folder and call it AAF, and then I'm going to click on save, and there we go. It is exporting our AAF and it is done. So now we just press on OK, and we have our AAF. Now, one more thing before you go ahead and start sending your OMF and AAF to your sound editor, you also need to export an MP4 video version of your project the way it is and how it was when you exported the OMF or AAF, so they can have a visual reference for what they are hearing. You understand? So export that. It doesn't have to be big or just something. It can be low res, just something that they can see, so they can know what they're working on looks like. I don't need to do that. You are smart. You do that by yourself. But once you're done with that, you will now navigate to your OMF folder or your AAF folder and just send that folder. You can zip it together with the video file that you export or send them separately, but the whole folder is what you will be sending to your sound editor, and that is what they're going to use to deliver your work for you. I realized while editing that I forgot to mention something that is very important when you are at the stage of exporting AAF and OMF, which is that once you have exported and sent out your OMF or AAF to your sound editor, and I'm assuming you probably have already sent your XML to Resolve for color grading for your colorist, you can't make any changes to the cut anymore, because that is supposed to be your final cut. You're not supposed to make any corrections or any changes, because it's going to affect the workflow of the editors of the sound and the colorist. So when you are about to send your AF and OMF and even XML, you need to make sure that your picture is locked and there's absolutely no possible correction that you would need, because once sound starts working, you can't make any changes. It's just going to mess up the whole flow and your sound editor is going to swear for you. So don't do that. Once the sound editor starts working, leave the cut alone. It's fine. Let them finish and send the final result back to you. If you want a tutorial for how to export what they have done when they are done for whatever reason, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can get to making a video like that for you. But yeah, that's basically it. Exporting OMF and AAF. That is it, short and simple. Leave a like if you like this video. If it helped you, drop a comment. Let me know if you learned something, and if you want me to do another video of any sort when it comes to editing for professional editing things. Yeah, check out my other video where I talked about how to export a multi-channel format for African Magic broadcasts. I can't even remember the name, but yeah, just go and watch that video, Sha. If you're going to ever edit for African Magic someday, that video will be very helpful to you. So go and watch it. Yeah. If you want me to do another video on this, on how to do it on DaVinci Resolve, let me know in the comments. I'm not going to do any video on DaVinci Resolve unprovoked, because Premiere is my preferred editing software, so I just use Premiere. But if you want me to do one for DaVinci Resolve, so I will do it too. Just let me know. Put it in the comments. Yeah, so yeah, that is it. Bye bye.
Yeah, boy.